Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to make an oil painting of a portrait that I saw on Pinterest. And I'm sorry I'm uploading after too long because I got really sick during New Year and I just really could not get around to work and let alone just try oil painting because I have done acrylics and watercolors, failed miserably, and I don't know, I just thought it was a good time to set up a new record for myself and just fail at oil painting too. Anyways, I do want to mention that this is my first time oil painting ever, so cut me some slack. I think I did a good job based off of the fact that this is actually my first portrait in oils, even though if you know how to draw, it's kind of easier to just transfer those skills to another medium. Unless it's watercolors, I hate them. But again, it's still not like I'm not a total amateur, and I still have some experience, and after watching a ton of videos I got around to just learning how should you operate and how you should go about painting with oils. But again, cut me some slack, this is my first time. So first off, I sketched out the proportions of the face after the gesso is dried, I'm sorry. And I think I spent around 45 minutes, or I don't know, it was like 40 to 45 minutes on the portrait. And after I'm done with that, I take out the colors and just keep in mind that I'm using a limited color palette for the painting. And yeah, I didn't notice that a limited color palette helps you keep the theme of the painting, as if you don't stray away too far from the colors that you're using and nothing catches your eye off guard. So the colors that you're using, they're all kind of present in the painting already, and it just makes much more sense to keep it simple. I don't want to overcomplicate the process as I'm still a beginner to this, but again, it's just so much better using a 5 color or 4 colors, as in that you can use blues and burnt umber and combine them to make blacks, and all the other colors, like you have yellows, reds and blues, which are primary colors, and you can mix them. You have the color wheel right here, you can see you can mix them to get secondary colors or tertiary colors. I think digitally painting on iPad for a long while did help me understand a little bit about brushwork, values, hues, saturation and all that, but there's one thing that is missing in that, and I didn't really do that, which was color mixing. See, the colors that you see in real life, they're not super saturated as the ones that you get out of the painting tubes. They're super saturated, and the colors that you see in the world around you, like if you see your table or you see a person's face and you see some red or purple hues in there, they're not super saturated. They're grayed out versions of themselves. And what happens with digitally painting on any software, you can just sort of use those colors and choose those colors from the palette that you see, and you don't just get to learn and understand how to mix those colors, as in what kind of colors do you need to mix to just get that particular shade or get that particular value. And if you haven't experienced it yet, just try to paint traditionally. Even if it's 2 to 3 paintings, just try to paint it and just notice how much more information do you need to know to paint a portrait if you've been painting digitally for ever. And it does go hand in hand. It's not like it's going to destroy your abilities or take anything away from painting traditionally, and it goes the other way around too. You just learn more things and you have new information at your disposal that you can use. And a thought process that really helped me out, because I've been postponing actual painting with paints instead of just doing it digitally, is a thought process, and it's just psychological, but it really helped me out to look at it as if it was just sketching with a paintbrush. And I don't know, it just gives me an advantage to look at it as something easier than I think it is, if that makes sense. But again, the real challenge, even in my mind, is just to mix the right colors and to make sure that when I pull the paint off the palette, the brush is loaded up with the correct color, and it's loaded up with enough amount to cover the specific area that I'm about to paint. And that is where the real challenge comes in with painting, especially for me. Because if it is just sketching and I'm already good at it, then I guess the only part that I need to deal with is just the brushwork and making sure that I'm making the correct decisions when I'm mixing the paint. And the painting that I'm doing, it can be considered as alla prima, and I didn't even use any mediums or solvents or even any brush cleaners, to be honest. I just saw a lot of artists mentioning the fact that you shouldn't really clean your brushes with spirits as they will damage the hair of the brush. And the teacher from Draw Mix Paint, if you haven't checked it out, you should really check his channel out. His channel has really a lot of information that will really come in handy, and he had an interesting idea that really resonated with me. He said that don't think of it as if your brushes are dirty after you've used them, just think of them as having the wrong paint. So that is a really interesting idea, because don't not thinking of your brushes as dirty and thinking of them as actually having the wrong paint that you need to use for the particular area of the painting. That sort of saves you time, as you're not constantly dipping in and out of the container that holds the turpentine. And also the spirits that you use, they're really toxic, and if you're not using them, you're just taking them out of the equation, then you are just approaching it in a completely different way, and it's a much healthier way. It saves you time, and it also increases your knowledge, in my opinion, because you have to really work your way around getting the color or the dominant color out of the brush that you don't need to cover the area that you're about to paint. Anyways, I think I called it at this point, just adding away the final flyaway hairs or changing the exposure where it needs to be changed. And I think it was all right for the first attempt. And if you're afraid of painting just like I was, just get over with, pick up the damn brush and start painting, as that's the only way. You're not going to be great right off the bat. So yeah, I hope this video helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one.